On today's episode of the Cryptoverse. So while reading the cryptocurrency news headlines today, you may well have seen claims to the effect of the SEC suspends Bitcoin and Ethereum investment vehicles. So this is yet another video where I'll attempt to calm your nerves by bringing razor-sharp clarity to the situation, and I'll do that by colouring it with specific details that I think make all the difference. So this one's really for Bitcoin investors, but as we know, what affects the crypto market leaders largely affects all crypto holders eventually, so I'm talking to everybody. And speaking of investing in cryptos, today's episode is brought to you by Weiss Cryptocurrency Ratings. So as a subscriber to this service myself, once per week I get a PDF file that kind of looks like this, that lists over 100 different cryptocurrencies, each with a rating from A, strong buy, to E, strong sell, as well as a breakdown of how that grade was arrived at. So not only do I find this service very valuable, but more importantly, I've gotten to know the leadership team at Weiss Ratings, and I believe them to be people of integrity. So if you sign up using my referral link, you'll not only get information every week that will help you make investing decisions and make better investing decisions, but you'll also help to keep this channel going. So head over to www.thecryptoverse.show/crypto ratings for more information. So the first detail to know about this SEC suspension is A, it is a fact for which we have a verified source, an official SEC document, and B, this is a temporary suspension. So the official document, which I will link in the sources as always, it orders the suspension of trading from the 9th of September 2018 until the 20th of September 2018. So not that long really. So those are the facts, the basic facts, meaning this is a real news story verified from a primary source that you can also identify and verify for yourself very easily. So the next logical question is, well, why did they do this, right? What's their reasoning and what can we infer from their reasoning going forward? Well, to quote the official document, which I will show you, here it is right here, it says, quote, "It appears to the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, that there is a lack of current, consistent, and accurate information concerning Bitcoin Tracker 1, ticker symbol CXBTF, and Ether Tracker 1, ticker symbol CETHF, issued by XBT provider AB, a Swedish company headquartered in Stockholm, resulting in confusion amongst market participants regarding these financial instruments." Close quote. Now they say confusion. When they say confusion, they mean that the product is labeled in three different ways. So in some places it's labeled as an exchange traded fund. In other places it's labeled as a exchange traded note. And then in other places yet, it's labeled as a non-equity linked certificate. And as a result, the SEC say, also in their document, quote, "The Commission is of the opinion that the public interest and the protection of investors require a suspension of trading in the securities of the above quoted company." Close quote. So, having broken this situation down and examined the pieces myself, I don't see it as a big deal, right? More specifically, I don't see this as an indication that the SEC is going sour on crypto-oriented investments, right? And that's another thing to point out. This has nothing to do with the SEC's view on Bitcoin or Ethereum themselves, right? In fact, this has little to do with crypto at all. If any other regular financial instrument were promoting itself in a way that the SEC deemed to be confusing or misleading, well, and if they found another investment vehicle to be calling itself by three different names, well, I believe it would react in exactly the same way as they're doing now, which is why I say it's got nothing to do with crypto per se. Well, in the public interest and protection of investors, as they put it in their document. Now, another detail I think is very important to point out is that this is a European financial product, and it's being bought by US investors. Of course, that's why the SEC, the US regulatory body, is looking at this, right? They are interested in protecting US investors. Now, while the SEC can't actually stop the product from being traded altogether, they can stop US brokers from trading it and thereby block US citizens from investing in it. Now this product, it was originally created and launched in 2015, but it only became available to US investors in August of this year. And now it's been suspended from the US market, so that didn't last long, did it? Now I have considered the possibility that the promoters of this product from Europe, right, this one we're talking about being suspended, they may have decided to tread a risky line when they promoted it and sort of infer that the product was an ETF, right? And the reason I think they may have done that is to appeal to what they know to be an existing appetite for an ETF product. And while technically the product they are trading is an ETN, which is an exchange traded note. And the reason I say this is because the GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust, is still allowed to continue trading, even though it has lower liquidity. It's actually a more expensive product. So I suspect the SEC left that alone because it's much clearer what the product is in the eyes of the investors. So just to be aware, that last thing I just said there, pure conjecture on my part. I'm just offering a potential interpretation as to how come a inferior, quotes, product is allowed to continue trading and the Swedish one is being suspended. So all eyes are on the 30th of September, right? Which is the date when the SEC has imposed on themselves to either approve or disapprove a change to their securities rules, which would allow a Bitcoin exchange traded fund to begin trading. So this is the SolidX ETF, which has been created in collaboration with the CBOE. Now this would be a US-based financial product created by and listed by US companies. So I suspect the SEC are far more comfortable with that, since they would have total power and jurisdiction over the parties involved. So as long as those financial institutions don't fall foul of confusing investors by being inconsistent with their language, they should be safe from this type of suspension that we've been talking about today. Now, to my mind, the approval of the ETF on the 30th, it largely depends on whether the SEC believes that investors will be sufficiently protected from financial loss that may occur not from confusion, but from crypto market manipulation, because we've seen them talk about this before. We've seen them talk about the lack of transparency in exchange volume and the potential to fake exchange volume to manipulate the markets. And as also we saw from the recent fake news about Goldman Sachs that made its way all the way around the world before it was debunked, that shows that the crypto markets are still very fragile to news shocks, which is not going to give the SEC much confidence that ETF investors will be protected from those kinds of price shifts. Remember though that all this talk about Bitcoin ETFs is almost exclusively to the United States, right? Yes, what happens in the US affects crypto significantly, but crypto is far bigger than the US. So what I'm going to encourage you investors to do is to broaden your view so that even if the Bitcoin ETF gets denied at the end of the month, that you don't take that as death of the Bitcoin as a whole, because it just isn't. Whatever happens though, everything that I say in my videos is intended to be purely educational and never intended to be financial advice. So thanks very much for joining me today, guys. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you disliked it, well, you can hit the dislike button if you like. Please leave me a comment below with some feedback. And of course, if you're not already, get subscribed. And if you would like access to my very best material, such as my structured online courses, check out my website, cryptoversity.com, click on courses, and you can either learn 21 fast-track ways to make and save money with Bitcoin. You could take the Secrets of the Bitcoin Triangle course. If you want to learn how blockchain technology works under the hood, then check out the Digital Money Revolution course. And if you want to learn how to make money trading in and out of cryptocurrencies, check out the Master Cryptocurrency Trader course. If you want to follow me on the social networks, then go to the podcast page on cryptoversity.com and all the social networks are listed on there for you. Other than that, I will be back with the next episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.